CEO Mary Barra back in the congressional hot seat tomorrow morning. She has a lot to answer about those defective ignition switches and compensating victims killed or injured.
7 Action News investigator Jim Kirchner is live downtown at GM World headquarters, and some people saying Barra has a long way to go still here, Jim.
Yeah, watchdog groups continue all over General Motors, the Center for Automotive Safety, the Center for Justice. They say while 15 people have been fired, top officials here have not been held accountable.
I think the fox guarding the hen house is certainly a good way to put it. They really need an entirely new management and legal representation.
You may not have heard of the Center for Justice, but members of Congress have, and they're listening. Tomorrow they get their second shot at the CEO of GM. She gave them this promise in April.
When we have answers, we will be fully transparent.
15 staffers have been fired for their roles in the 13-year cover-up of the defective ignition switches. The Center for Justice says attorneys from King and Spalding were also involved during litigation and the subsequent investigation.
This was the firm sitting next to these engineers as they lied. This firm should have been sort of the first on the chopping block to go in terms of the company turning over a new leaf, trying to convince people it had done so. But instead, it was one of the two firms responsible for this most recent internal investigation.
GM has recalled 2.6 million older cars with the defective ignition switches, leading to 13 deaths. But the Center for Auto Safety expects the number to be much higher, maybe into the hundreds. The company has promised a plan for compensation, but not until next month.
All their lawyers are doing right now is fighting. They're fighting some of the wrongful death claims that want to be opened up. They're fighting the economic loss claims, which are enormous. They're hiding still behind the bankruptcy shield, which they obtained in 2009.
Now, this is the opening statement of the CEO. In it, she talks about how they are establishing a compensation program headed up by Ken Feinberg for victims. Remember him, he headed up 9/11 victims in New York City and the BP oil spill down in the Gulf of Mexico. GM is paying him, but a spokesman this afternoon would not tell me how much. I'm live downtown, Jim Kirchner, 7 Action News.
All right, Jim.